What can I say? Starfield just keeps on delivering.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Nice.
Like, this is the... Like, whenever I look at a game, I'm not thinking about the kind of weapons around the game. This game can have one weapon for all I care. But it better fucking work.
True. But it doesn't.
Jesus.
But it just
include
works.
all of them, because after all, there's some logic to saying that that's the case. The laser weapon perk that you can get does affect the laser part of the damage of the particle weapons.
Again.
Laser weapon
Again.
perk
Amazing.
that you can get does affect the laser part
Second time in a row, by the way.
of the damage.
AAA. Bethesda
It's a low
job.
accuracy weapon.
It's a
what's the
sniper
accuracy on
rifle,
the Orion?
probably.
That's the gun he's using. I think it's about 65%, something like that. 62%. It's 45. Mine's
not-
77%. That's insane. You understand? Like,
Wait, the accuracy doesn't determine the accuracy of the shot, by the way.
a 70% chance not occurring 4 times in a row, like
No, that's not how that works, sadly.
earlier, is
But
like
whatever.
actually astronomically low probability. That's insane.
Of the particle weapons. So let's
So it
include
doesn't
them all
matter how
together.
far away he is.
There are 2 particle weapon pistols, 1 particle weapon shotgun, and 1 particle weapon rifle. So that's 4. If you put the laser
Okay.
weapon and the particle weapon category together, even if you include the cutter and the arc welder, that's still only 9 weapons total. 9. For ballistic weapons,
A problem like with Halo, for example, you have really cool guns with Halo. Like, you've got your BR, but you've also
I
got
don't
your
play
Needler.
Halo.
Like, the Needler is the coolest weapon from Halo. Regardless of how much damage it does, it is the coolest weapon from Halo. Starfield doesn't have a lot
Halo is for fucking losers who gel their hair in school thinking that will make them popular, not get bullied.
of those.
there's around 30, 3 times as many. There's a trend here.
Yeah, fuel
The
rod
ballistic
cannon,
weapon
Spartan
type
laser. Yeah.
has a lot of weapons with a lot of ammo types. There's a lot of options in it. And every other category is neglected, especially the melee category. The melee building in Starfield is
Well, to be honest, not a single Bethesda game I have ever played melee, so can't relate, can't literally get good, kid.
just awful.
Well, there isn't melee building. There's not. And if you look at what the melee talents are, they're really bad.
Yeah, obviously.
Like, they're not going to make up for it.
Like, it's much worse than even what they've done before in their previous games.
Yeah.
The weapon variety is again poor,
the
with there
intro.
being less than 10 melee weapons in the game. There's no two-handed weapons that you can use. They're all stuck to 3-hit combos, 3-hit combo,
Yeah.
pause, 3-hit combo, pause. The power attacks tied to these weapons suck.
They're
And
power
not just compared
attacks?
to games like Skyrim that have a big
Wow.
emphasis on melee.
Mm-hmm.
They also suck even in comparison to Fallout, which also has guns. There was more strategy involved in Fallout Melee. One of the reasons is because the power attacks had a kind of lunging effect. You could cross distances and take advantage of an opening.
That was actually one of the really great things about Armored Core 6 is the some of the weapons, the melee weapons had a lunge effect. It actually was like a huge advantage that you would have if you could use that in like the right way. It was actually so cool.
And that's
Okay.
another problem. There's not as many openings in this game. Because in Fallout, you were
People say nitpick the video. Somebody said that in chat. Let me explain something to you. Combat.
This is not nitpicking. Okay, wait. Before you say what I'm gonna not say, nitpicking doesn't work on this. Yeah, people complain about nitpicking. Oh, you're nitpicking about there being too many loading screens, too many this and too many that. You need to understand, this whole game consists only of these nitpicks, by the way. There is nothing but nitpicks. Because you experience these things constantly. The bad gameplay, you're experiencing it constantly. The stupid facial animations, you're experiencing them constantly. These are small things, yes. But when you encounter these small things literally every 5 milliseconds, that kind of becomes really annoying and a large issue. And that's what Starfield does. The gunplay is bad, so you encounter it literally every time you use guns. Every time you want to go for a certain specialization, because this is a Bethesda game after all, and most of us know that that means you need to concentrate on guns, melee, ballistic weapons, or laser weapons, or, you know, something along those lines, right? And, well, in this game, you can't fucking do that. You can't. That's not a nitpick. That's actually a big thing. But Starfield just repeats the small issues over and over in your face. You can never run away from the small issues. The only time the small issues don't actually stare in your face mockingly is when you close the game. The only arguable good thing about Starfield is that when you press escape and say exit game, it actually gives you an option to exit to the desktop instantaneously, because not a lot of games actually let you do that nowadays. They want you to press exit the game 2 times in a row for you to actually exit the game. The first exit is going to take you to the menu. At least the people at Bethesda were smart enough to recognize that no one's going to play Starfield, and adding, you know, when I see that, exit to desktop button, it feels so good, because that's the best part about Starfield.
Matters. And in my opinion, it matters more than anything else. So if the game doesn't play well and it's not fun to actually play, then that's not a nitpick. That's like the main course of the game.
Constantly fighting animals. You were constantly fighting things that would engage you in melee combat. And that was the case even for the human enemies. Many of them use melee weapons as well. So there were a lot more opportunities for you to get good at engaging in melee combat.
Sure.
Figuring out when to block, when to step to one side or the other, when to use your power attack lunge to get in some damage. It wasn't, like, great. It wasn't spectacular. But it's a lot more than what we have in Starfield. In
And could we talk about the fact that this enemy right here, I was recently on a level 75 planet, and I was fighting an enemy, and it looked, the funny thing is about this enemy is it actually looked exactly the same as this enemy right here.
Wow. Who would have expected?
Yeah, that's the crazy thing, is that it was a level, but it said 98 on it.
What a coincidence.
A lot more than what we have in Starfield. In Starfield, you're not engaging with alien monsters very often.
No.
In my experience, the most you're dealing with is other humans.
Yeah.
There's very few quests that will put you in front.
And my god, do you not want to actually experience the wildlife in this stupid game? Because let me tell you, the first planet that you went to that was actually habitable and had green shit all over it, it had a bunch of these long-necked dinosaurs. And I wanted to go to an objective, because to see how interesting, maybe it's going to be not a cave. Turns out it wasn't a cave, by the way, spoiler warning. It was literally a special place where you could find 2 special fauna that you needed to do, and there was no reward tied to it. I spent the time that it takes to go 1.2 miles in a direction, so I can just scan 2 rare fauna. Yep. And you know what I encountered along the way? A bunch of those long-necked dinosaurs. In fact, I encountered so many of them, I killed more than probably 70 of them on my way to that location. It was horrible. At one point, I literally gave up and said, Sarah, yeah, just you do you. If you want, you can shoot these things. I literally could not care less. It was horrible.
Front of alien monsters that will engage you in melee combat. There's some, but not nearly as many as you would in Fallout. So most of the time you're dealing with human enemies. Most of those human enemies
I played that show like Dark Souls.
Are using guns. And even when you are facing an enemy that's also using a melee weapon...
That's probably the only way you can win against a terror morph, to be honest.
Automatic. Oh, I never seen that one before.
The melee combat is so simplistic that the strategy is the same regardless of what you're doing. It's run up to the enemies and whack at them and hope you don't die in the attempt. Which can be a real pain if you're playing on the hardest difficulty.
Also, I want to just note and say one thing about the looting system, how actually bad it is. You can't see it because Asmongold's in front of it, but when you are looting, an enemy corpse, it actually shows nowhere how much weight you're carrying. It only shows, for some stupid reason, how much weight is the corpse carrying. Do you see where the problem comes in? And how the problem comes in really fast and is super annoying?
You have to understand, I'm not saying that the melee combat was a masterpiece in those Fallout games and previous Bethesda games, but it was a lot better than this. A lot of the times the enemies will run away from you in Starfield. They'll just start sprinting away from you. And I chase them, but I often can't hit them again while they're running away. And I would have been able to if I still had my lunge attack from Fallout.
By the way, can anyone explain to me where the fuck is the logic that this ship just, drops these pirates off and then just takes off like it has a milk delivery to do or something? How does that make sense?
Another problem with the melee is that you can't modify it. There's no crafting associated with the melee weapons.
I'm gonna be honest, like all this part, like I can't even really comment on it because I remember I got a really good melee weapon and I tried using it and it did basically no damage. And I thought to myself, okay, let's go back to the gun. And I never did melee again.
Smart.
It's like the whole thing is an afterthought. There's no attack speed rating on the weapon to compare one to the other. And I think that might be because they all have the same attack speed. I'm not entirely sure, but they all seem to attack in the same way.
I don't know why,
Probably.
but just like the way he said that just sounded so sad.
It is sad. When Bethesda fanboys talk about how bad the game is, or when people... You know what's my favorite, honestly, part about Starfield? Is the people who try to tell me that this game is good, and when they talk about what is good, they're actually, like, highlighting bad things about it and saying, well, that's just a minor issue. There's nothing even good to talk about this game, if we're being completely honest. Can someone find an actual good thing to comment about this game and not end the sentence, but it's not a big deal that this is a problem? You can't.
And at that point, why even have different types? Why wouldn't you have the light knife weapons attack faster but do less damage, and then the heavier weapons attack more slowly but do more damage? This is space. Why isn't there some kind of energy-based melee weapon? Why isn't there some that work like a stun baton and do EM damage?
True.
I thought the weapon variety was bad for the laser weapons, but if it's true that all of the melee weapons have the same attack speed, then I was wrong. The melee weapons have it the worst. Because that means that there's not 9 melee weapons.
There's one.
There's one with different skins.
I mean, damn! If you want to play a melee character after playing Skyrim, then that's your own fault for thinking Bethesda is ever gonna deliver a melee experience that it doesn't make you want to self-delete.
Yeah.
At that point, it doesn't matter if the dagger says it's different than the cutlass. If they...
I had this same thing happen. Like, I looted a sword, right? I looted an actual sword, like a fucking... It was like some sort of like Japanese like sword, I think, right?
Probably.
And I used it, and it was like...
The weapon of the samurai, folded 10 billion times for extra sharpness. The greatest weapon of all time, some may even say who don't know history.
Wait, this is the same thing as the other one.
For those of you who don't understand what I just said there, the reality of the katana is that shit was sometimes considered less usable in battle than literally a wooden plank that has one side sharpened. Because katanas were just abysmally trash.
Swing at the same speed, and there's no other variables to them, then they're the same weapon and one is just objectively better. Why don't we have two-handed melee weapons? Why don't we have high-technology shields to go with the one-handed weapons? Why does everything seem to be so underbaked and give off the impression that they
Because it's a Bethesda game. I thought we already went over this.
intend to do something about it in future updates?
Well, I'm sure they'll fix this
Here's a
on
good
the
example.
second DLC.
Why can't we have an evil companion?
No, they won't. The modders are gonna fix it. But if the modder asks money for their work, that's heresy, and they're gonna be like, bombed or something.
Or at least...
Yeah, that's true. All my companions are pussies, and whenever I start killing innocent civilians, everybody runs away. I can't ever play the game, man.
Sarah is
And then I tried to
annoying.
get Sarah. I said, bitch, get the fuck out of here. And then she says, no, I'm not going to leave. You have to do my quest line. I don't want to fucking do your quest line. Get the fuck out of here. I don't care about your shit.
One that's not such a goody two-shoes. All of the major companions are the ones in Constellation, and those are the only ones you can run.
Remember what I said about how I described this game narrative with the word safe? Oh, pussy shit.
Let's list out their qualities for a second. You got Sarah, who likes being honest and being nice.
Yes.
You got...
Wait, no, Sarah doesn't like being honest and nice. Well, she likes being honest, but not nice. That's for sure. She likes honesty. And she hates when I pickpocket and steal from people. She literally just goes up to those people and says, I wish you stopped stealing, while looking at me. And nothing happens because it's a Bethesda game.
Sam, who likes justice and being nice. You got Barrett, that likes it when you avoid confrontation and being nice. And then you have Andreja, who likes helping people and being a nice person.
Of course.
And that would be fine, but at the moment...
Yeah, where are the good companions, you know? Like, think about how much Infinity Complex was Fallout New Vegas. Every companion had something different that they liked and disliked. And when you do enough of those bad things that they dislike, they literally just left you forever.
Constellation is the only place where you can get these important companions. You can hire some randos from bars, but that's not the same. Why can't I have an evil companion join me as part of the Crimson Fleet questline? The game lets me join...
You should have an evil companion that occasionally turns on you.
No, you should have an evil companion that lets you finally shoot younglings.
And tries to kill you. Like, anytime that you're under half health, there's like a 1% chance that they'll start trying to shoot you.
The Crimson Fleet. It lets me be an
that
evil
would be
bastard.
boring,
It
though.
lets me take on quests to engage in
You call them
piracy.
patches.
But it doesn't give me a fleshed out companion to enjoy that with.
Make them bald.
And this next thing, this is the biggest problem I have with Starfield. This is the real one that bothers
Bro, how do you miss that?
This is the biggest problem I have with Starfield.
Watch.
This is the real...
Are you fucking kidding me?
The Bethesda charm. Hey, what? Bethesda knew that they can't just let, melee be shit. They needed to balance, they understood they can't just let melee be shit, so they needed to make all guns kind of slightly shitty. That's why it takes 50 bullets of a Grendel to kill a level 2 and basic enemy.
How does that even happen?
Magic. Bethesda magic.
It went through his fucking arm.
Dude, you would understand if you would have played 80 hours of Starfield. You would understand how great this design choice is.
Is this the curvature of the Earth like we were talking about?
That bothers me. One of the biggest appeals I have with Bethesda's previous RPGs is that I enjoy exploring.
Yeah.
The act of walking around
Yeah.
and seeing things that catch your interest and walking
But not in Starfield, baby.
over to those things. Like in Skyrim, seeing the temples carved into the mountainsides. I like walking around in these carefully...
Dude, I didn't like the world of Skyrim, by the way. But when you play, something as bad as Starfield, you kind of, like look back to something as bad as Skyrim and think, wow, that was a good game.
crafted environments and letting the atmosphere wash over me.
Carefully crafted.
And much of the enjoyment from this kind of activity comes from the actual walking, from
Bullshit, it's
exploring,
still RNG.
from physically moving from place to place. And in Starfield, that's gone. It's basically non-existent.
Oh, sorry, I forgot to mute the video while I was sneezing, because my sneeze matters more.
Exploration in Starfield is done through menu navigation.
You know how many fast travel ways there are in this game? I talked about it yesterday, but I discovered this recently. When you press F on a planet, okay, while you have the F window up, if you look in the direction of an uncovered objective, it actually tells you press E to fast travel. This game has literally 50 ways of fast traveling. You have the basic fast travel, you have the fast travel from the mission logs, you have the fast travel turns out from the F thing. It's insane. Like, the developers understood that traveling is so fucking shit in this game, and it's so boring, and everyone in a space game would like to see less of space. The developers understood that they literally need to add fast travel to every single nook and cranny this game has.
You pull up your star chart menu, you pull up the system that you want to go to, and then you just fast travel there. Or even worse, you pull up your...
Here's another thing, is like whenever you click the X to travel,
You
you have
hold
to
it.
wait to click the X again to do the bar to travel to the planet. It's like just like a really, really small bit of friction
Yeah,
that's fucking annoying.
annoying. Yep, I feel it also. It's like this is by the way, the X thing is intentional because you know why? Because the Bethesda thinks you're literally stupid. But by the way, I'm not joking. I'm serious. This is something that games use when they think that player bases are stupid. Okay. They understand how absolutely travestingly annoying traveling is, so they never want you to accidentally misclick and go to the wrong location. So they use the same tactics that games use when to protect people from accidentally selling or destroying their gear. Because, good games actually have something to prevent you from doing that. Because everyone sooner or later is going to accidentally misclick and sell or destroy a piece of gear that they actually really, really love and like. Or disassemble or something like that, right? That is what's gonna happen. So, every good game has put in some safety net against it. For example, hold X to disassemble, or type in delete to delete, or something like that, right? Starfield has that on planetary travel because they don't want you to go to the wrong location, because they know if you go to accidentally to the wrong location even once, you're probably gonna flip the fuck out and start going on a murderous killing spree in real life. Okay? So you need to hold X to travel every single time.
Just
great.
Little tiny, it's so small. But it's so fucking annoying.
Yep. And that's the
quest
whole game.
menu, and then have it directly...
Oh, and by the way, this menu is unnavigatable garbage also, because you can't really click properly on the small moons. It is so annoying to click on these things. If you try to click on them, you're gonna use the mission log pretty much always to do this crap. Because it's almost impossible to actually, click on these things properly. You are never sure if you have clicked on them even. It's so dumb.
send you to wherever the quest wants you to go. I have no idea what planets I visited to do the main quests or the side quests.
True.
I don't know what systems those planets were on. I don't know what they were close to or far away from.
Yeah.
True.
And even if I touch down on a planet and decide to explore, there's nothing to explore.
Yep.
Well, that's not true. There's rocks. And after the rocks, there might be another rock. And then there could be a geographic anomaly. And you could scan it and get 20 experience.
isn't anything there.
That doesn't look like anything, by the way, impressive.
The
Or a
areas
cave
on the
that has
planets
rocks
that you
in it.
visit
Yep.
will have some...
And the cave that has rocks in it looked like the cave exactly that you were in like 5 minutes ago. And that cave looks like the exact cave you were previously in. And then it's the same and same and same again.
points of interest that seem to be handcrafted. But between them...
They're handcrafted and then multiplied.
Yes.
So, like,
Which makes
if
them
you
bad.
go to, like, 10 different camps, you've been to about 100 different camps.
More like
is
1,000.
like 5 minutes of procedurally generated bullshit. There is just nothing satisfying about exploring in this way. You know, I saw a lot of people getting upset
show.
that you couldn't actually go across the whole planet.
I don't care about that.
You know,
I'm going to be honest. Like, yeah, it's kind of cheesy, but...
We have been over this. The fact that you know you can go over the planet, even though if there's literally nothing on the planet, that makes your feeling of, the game better. It just makes the game better. The fact that you know you can do it makes the game better, even though you know you're literally never gonna even attempt it. It just makes the game better. It is what it is.
Like, I really don't think that's a big deal.
There were invisible walls at certain points, and you couldn't go any further past those points. And I just don't agree with that criticism, because why would you want to explore the whole planet if the whole planet is like this? There isn't anything there. If anything...
Dude, this is the perfect summarization of Bethesda fanboys saying Starfield is good. Well, you don't actually need to go through 3 loading screens when going to space to an objective. You can just go on the quest log, click B, and then instantaneously travel to it like that. And that's their defense. You understand that's the problem? It's not the loading screens that's the problem. It's the fact that between the loading screens, there's nothing to do. You telling me that I can skip literally, the space exploration part of the space exploration game is not a good thing. You understand that is not a defense of Starfield being a good game. It's literally telling me Starfield shit.
I wish the planet was a lot less explorable. I wish the planet's explorable area, which was much smaller. You couldn't just land anywhere on the planet. You could land on specific areas, and these areas had more tailored content. Like, I don't want to go into a cave and find some more mineral resource nodes. I don't.
Especially whenever the mineral resources are just completely invalidated.
Yeah, he's gonna say I wonder what he's gonna say. My assumption is he's just gonna say you can buy all of the rare shit in shops for pennies.
That's another big problem, is that, like, if you have an outpost somewhere, you are generating literally hundreds of thousands of these resources at will. Yeah, or you just buy them, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't care. I don't want to see another research tower and you kill all the ecliptic...
There's literally never a point to try to scavenge for resources, because any shop in the game is gonna sell you the rarest stuff for pennies. It doesn't matter.
Mercenaries in the area, and you go up the tower and...
Oh, I don't mind that. I like killing the guys. That's the fun part of the game.
Gives you a little bit of information on the planet's resources. I don't care. No.
Oh, this guy, I went to this exact same area, and then he's gonna give you a quest, and you're gonna have to go and I think deliver something. I forgot what it was exactly. And he's going to talk to you right here.
So I completely don't understand people that were upset that you couldn't explore the whole planet, because that wasn't the problem.
So he thought that that's an uninteractable NPC. He started running away, and then the dialogue thing opened up.
The problem was that there
you have to kill the spacers.
wasn't anything on those planets that were worth exploring.
Yeah.
My impression of Starfield is that it needs a lot of work. I said this in the beginning, but all Bethesda RPGs are at their worst state when they first release. They get much better over time, after they've gotten all their patches,
mods,
DLCs, and mod support.
Yeah,
I expect I'll enjoy it a lot more once all of these things...
And again, if you dare ask money for your work as a modder, you're gonna be shunned by the community.
...come out. But as it stands, I don't think I really had a great time with it. And my recommendation to people thinking about getting it is to wait.
By the way, my rating of Starfield when it came out was, okay, this is like a 6 or at best a 7. Then it dropped to a 5, and currently I'm like, Starfield's a fucking 3. Starfield's literally a 3 out of 10. There's nothing you can even say at this point to convince me otherwise, because I have seen everything. There is no redeeming factors to this game. It's just bad.
And that's the end of this video. Please unsubscribe and unclick the bell notification. Hopefully you've been alienated, and if you haven't, I'm sure I'll get to you in a future video.
Nice.
Until then, thank you very much for watching.
Well, unsubscribe from him and subscribe to me. That's the easy way out, boys.
I think that what I'm gonna do is I'll probably play Starfield a bit more. Like, I'll probably get to like level 250, 300 or so, and get like a few really good legendary weapons. and then I'm just gonna quit until the DLC. And my goal will be to never actually do the main story. Yeah. Never do the main story. I don't even know who the characters are.
Same.
Yeah, literally have no idea. I have so much more fun doing that. Any faction, maybe in my world, I'll see if I can just kill every single NPC in the game.
You can't. Starfield has so many NPCs marked as essential. The first quest where you actually have to rescue an NPC from the Crimson Fleet, I think it was, or, you know, one of the, you know, many looks like the same exact bad faction generic overview. You can't even kill the pilot. Like, this is the first Bethesda game where I go on a rescue quest and I can't actually just, you know, put my gun to that person's head and just blow him to the next door. It's so stupid.
Like, I'll go to the Crimson Fleet, kill everybody at the Crimson Fleet. Go to the United, like the fucking Navy, kill everybody at the Navy. Just fucking kill everybody and everything. And that's it. The main story doesn't even end. I don't know. But yeah, this Radic Oscar does great fucking videos. I like the amount of misses that you have with guns is just...
That's great. Anyway, this was Quizzer Said. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already, and have a nice day. Bye-bye.